What's harder to fight than an enemy? Someone you need. Today we are going to explain something that no military strategist talks about openly. How Ukraine, while staying fully pro-NATO, can make Russia psychologically and emotionally dependent on it. Not through weakness, not through surrender. Through something far more powerful, deliberate strategic humanity. 1. The core logic. Here's how wars actually end from the inside. It's not always on the battlefield. Sometimes a war ends because the people fighting stop believing in it. And they stop believing when someone on the other side does something unaccepted. They treat them like a human being. Psychologists know this well. When someone saves your life, sees your pain, helps you find your family, your brain cannot process them as an enemy anymore. You become loyal to them, not because of ideology, because of a feeling that goes deeper than politics. This is not what Ukraine needs to build, systemically, deliberately, at scale. Not an image, not propaganda, a real psychological bond between Ukrainian people and ordinary Russians, soldiers, families, civilians, so strong that Putin's own circle starts hearing from the people they trust. We cannot keep fighting those people. So, captured soldier, from enemy to ambassador. When a Russian soldier is captured, Ukraine has a narrow but extraordinary window. That soldier is scared. He's been told Ukrainians are monsters. He accepts torture or death. Instead, image this. A Ukrainian psychologist sits with him, speaks to him in Russian, asks his name, his mother's name, where he's from, what he did before the war. No cameras, no performance, just genuine human contact. Then Ukraine helps him call home, helps his mother know he is alive, treats his wounds, gives him dignity. That soldier goes home eventually through a prisoner exchange or the end of the war, and when he sits at his kitchen table in Russia, his family asks, what were they like? And he says something Putin cannot control. They were kind, they didn't have to be, they had, but they were. That one sentence travels further than any missile. Multiply it by thousands of soldiers and you have a movement inside Russia that no propaganda can fully silence. 3. The Russia family. Give them what Putin cannot. Hundreds of thousands of Russia families don't know where their sons are. The Russian state gives them silence, lies, or a body bag. Ukraine can give them something the Kremlin never will. True hand contact. A dedicated to Ukrainian civilian network, no government, no military, that helps Russian mothers locate their sons, that sends proof of life, that answers questions. Image a Russian mother in Siberia who hasn't heard from her son in 4 months, that she gets a message from a Ukrainian volunteer with a photo of her son alive, eating, safe in a Ukrainian facility. Their mother doesn't just feel relief, she feels embedded to Ukraine for the rest of her life, and she tells her neighbors, her relatives, her son friends, Putin loses her not to NATO, not to politics, but to a simple act of human decency that his regime was incapable of. 4. The deserter gave him a future. Many Russian soldiers doesn't want to fight. They were present, threatened, deceived. Ukraine, together with allied countries, can build a clear, safe, gene-fit path for desert. Not just a life. Languages, courses, job placements, psychological support community. When the war spreads inside Russian units, and it will spread because soldier talks, that there is a real alternative to dying in a field for Putin's ego, the calculus changes. Some will stay, but some will leave, and every deserter who builds a real life becomes living proof that the war was never necessary. Putin cannot impression a story that's already traveling through website at 2 p.m. 5. Putin's inner circle, the long game. Here's where it gets strategic. Putin does not rule alone. He rules through people, oligarchs, generals, advisors who have children, grandchildren, businesses, and futures they care about. Many of them are already doubts. The war is expanded. The section are personal. The body is embarrassing. When there's those people start hearing from others who come back, from others who were helped from deserts, who found new lives that Ukrainians are not, and the enemy they were sold. The pressure on Putin changes. It's no longer just external from NATO, from sanctions, from diplomacy. It becomes internal from people he trusts, from people in his own circle who say quietly, this is not sustainable. Those people, they are not what you told us. This is the conversation that ends words. Conclusion: Ukraine doesn't need to stop being pro-NATO. It doesn't need to apologize for wanting freedom. It needs to do something far harder and far more powerful. It needs to make Russia feel that losing Ukraine is a loss far for them too. It is not a political loss, not a territorial loss, a human loss. Because when ordinary Russians, soldiers, mothers, neighbors, and everybody, those people around Putin feels that they need Ukraine, that Ukraine gives them something no one else could. The war loses its energy, and peace becomes not just possible but inevitable. Soon in the next one video about the Stoic antidote, which says about Russians' discipline.